Welcome to the AFR Saints channel, where we provide you daily content on your favorite team, the New Orleans Saints. Do us a favor and hit that subscribe button. Be sure to leave your comments below and smash that like button. Who dat? I think it's unanimous Saints fans ecstatic over the pick. Taliese Fuaga is a New Orleans Saint. The guy who was his position coach the last 4 years at Oregon State is Jim Michalczik, who's now the associate head coach at Michigan State, on the road recruiting, good enough to spend a couple of minutes with us here. Jim, it's a pleasure. Thank you so much for taking a couple of minutes. We appreciate it. How are you?
I'm doing great, and appreciate you having me on.
No, it's our pleasure. Let me start with a very easy one. What are the Saints getting in Taliese Fuaga?
A heck of a young man and a heck of a football player.
Kind of feels that way from all accounts so far. Let's talk about the young man part, then we'll get to the football player part. There's always that question whenever you hand a 20, 21, 22-year-old a boatload of cash, 18, 20 million, whatever it may be, and how they might react, their work ethic, how is it impacted? From what you know about working with Taliese Fuaga, what's a reasonable expectation?
Well, expectations are in that league are always high, right? The young man he's very grounded. He's not a guy flashy. He's not a young guy who's on social media all the time looking for validation or things like that. He just likes to compete. He likes to work. He likes to be a part of a team. Likes things to be done the right way. And, he's very mature for his age.
Mm. You know, the majority of your career has obviously been in college. You did spend 2 seasons with the Raiders. Did you experience that to a degree that you could speak on what the biggest transition is for young people going from college, like Fuaga here, into his rookie season from college into the NFL?
I think the biggest thing is just the professionalism of guys in the NFL. I think they're truly the ones that succeed, that have great careers, are the ones that work at their craft. They take care of their bodies. They do things the right way. They study the game. That's one thing where Tully is exceptional. I mean, he was at that point as a college guy. It's rare. I've been fortunate to have some great players. He's already close to that NFL level. Obviously he's going to learn a lot once he gets there in training camp and learn a lot from the veterans. But the mindset and all those things, it's not going to be a shock for him. He's going to fit right in.
Yeah. You saw him come in as a freshman and play in every game his freshman year, but didn't really become entrenched as a starter until the last 2 years. Of course, became an All-American. In what ways materially can you say from year 1 to year 4 you watched him develop?
Oh, I think in just every way. I mean, he came out of a high school that didn't win a lot of games. He had a lot of potential, a lot of talent, but had to learn to play football. And every year, it's what you want to see is a constant state of development, improvement, and he just took off. Is
his strength more as a run blocker or a pass blocker today?
I think he's pretty good at both.
Okay, if you're gonna be a top 20 pick in the NFL draft, you're probably gonna be really good at both.
Yeah, and I think we ran a system that's very similar to a lot of people in the NFL run. That I know New Orleans. I know John Benton's their line coach. He's a great coach. I think we run a system very similar to that, and I think people were able to see him do things that he's going to need to do in the NFL, and to be able to make that transition, I feel pretty good that they feel good about what they're getting.
Jim Michalczyk's with us, who's Oregon State's offensive line coach there for Taliese Fuaga's entire career. Is now the associate head coach at Michigan State. Can you referenced the system? It's everyone here is referring to it as the wide zone. Can you simplify that for our audience who maybe doesn't study X's and O's? What does that mean for Fuaga and for the offensive line working in a wide zone scheme?
Well, I think you're really trying to attack the field, instead of straight downhill plays. Again, you complement it with other things. It's not just the one play, but it's a way of attacking the defense. Using the linemen generally tend to have to be a little bit more athletic, quicker. It's very physical offense, in which case you're trying to fire off the ball and create movement and seams and let the backs hit the holes. And so it requires a little bit more mobile guy, but then there's a lot that comes off of it with the play actions and those things that you really see as you start studying the NFL and how it's just taken off.
Do you think I'll call him Tali? Do you think Tali fits that mold?
100%.
Yeah.
The thing he does even more is he has that athleticism and that quickness. The thing I think that makes him special in that system is he does have that natural power, strength to really be able to move people.
A couple more for you. I don't expect you to know the nuance of the New Orleans State situation, but there's an opportunity potentially at both right or left tackle. Do you have a feeling on what side of the line might suit him better?
I think he can do either. He played right for us because we had a guy that was there first playing left, and who's an NFL prospect also, probably an inside guy. But I thought about switching them, but you don't mess with something that's working pretty good. If our left tackle would have been hurt, I would have flipped him over in a second, and he would have gone. So I think he can do both. Again, it's where do they want to kind of, to move him around too much when he first gets in that league, is probably not the best thing to do. I'm sure they have a plan already in place and a direction that they want to go.
And Mickey Loomis has said point blank, he's a tackle. They have no plans to move him inside. It's just a matter of what side of the line. Can I tap in one more time just to your NFL experience? What would be the real challenge? It's maybe the same in college of having been a right tackle in college, now trying to potentially move to the left side.
Well, I think it's just repetition. It's literally making something more comfortable. Now he did play left for us at times, not in a game. When he was a young player, he was backing up both sides, ready to go in at both sides at the same time. And so it's just, I think, if you're going to ask a guy to do something new, he's just got to put some time into it and get that muscle memory, so everything becomes natural.
There's one area where you'd say, as a young player, he's going to have to improve at the next level. What would you say that is?
That's I think every player that goes into that league has got to prove, and I think that fits with it. I think the one thing that's hard, and you alluded to too, is just the transition of, keeping the main things, and developing and mastering the game. I think he's got the attributes to fit and do that very, very well.
You think he can be a starter day one in the NFL?
I'd like to think so. I think every player, one thing about playing offensive line is those guys in front of you are pretty good too. Yeah. So every day is a battle, and every day you're not going to win them all, but I think he's got, the mental makeup, the physical makeup, and all that stuff that he's going to excel in that role.
How the Spartans going to be this year?
We're getting there. We had a good spring and bringing a new system in. And again, this system's not an easy one to learn especially for college guys. And so, we're just working constant improvement. I thought we had a good spring getting there.
Jim Michalczik, associate head coach there at Michigan State, was Taliese Fuaga's Tali's head coach there, position coach at Oregon State the last 4 years while he was there. And Jim, I know you're on the road recruiting. I cannot thank you enough for carving out a few minutes for us here. Safe travels while you're out on the streets, and we'll hope to maybe chat again sometime down the road.
Great. Appreciate it. All the best.
Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact, and be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.